security policy.
Dear Excellencies, colleagues, and dear friends, I'm thrilled to be back in Tromsø. My first time here was as a teenager, just after Estonia had restored its independence, and we could finally travel freely. It was during our first trip to Finland that we discovered that you could actually drive up to the north. Nobody's asking any questions. So even cross the border to Norway, a NATO nation. Imagine that. So we took that trip, and for me, being in the Soviet prison for so long time, it felt really freedom cubed. So it was really massive. I have to confess that we didn't have visas at the time, and Espen knows this story and has pardoned me already. But I'm also very great to be back here, so legally this time. Of course, it is a period of high stress for the High North. Let me offer 3 observations from the EU perspective. First, the Arctic is critical for transatlantic security. It will require more attention, more resources, and yes, more hard power. Our initial European strategy on the Arctic, way back in 2008, focused on climate, fisheries, and research. Today, we have vibrant, active engagement across a wide range of areas, from promoting inclusive and sustainable development to empowering indigenous peoples, fostering Arctic cooperation, supporting innovation and entrepreneurship, and enhancing civil protection capacities and capabilities. But there is a missing dimension. A year after EU adopted its latest Arctic strategy in 2021, Russia, the largest Arctic nation, launched a full-scale war in Ukraine. That war has increased tensions across Europe, but also in the Arctic. Moscow has reopened and modernized Soviet-era military bases in the High North. One of the world's largest concentrations of nuclear weapons is located on the Kola Peninsula, right across the Norwegian border. The Arctic has also become a testing ground for Russian missiles. Europe must catch up with years of Russian military buildup in the region. And here I want to thank Norway for its crucial contribution to European security in the High North. Next month's cold response exercise with the 25,000 troops training here in Norway will send a clear and unmistakable message of resolve. And this brings me to my second observation. The world has changed. And nowhere is this clearer than here in the Arctic. Not since the golden age of Arctic exploration have so many papers, journals, articles, opinions been written about this region, including the growing competition for trade routes and resources. I will not repeat these challenges here, with the exception of one we cannot ignore. And this is the radical change in the US thinking that marks a structural shift in transatlantic relations. Here in the High North, you have felt this acutely in the few last weeks. The EU understands that Greenland is strategically important for the United States. It is also strategically important for us in the European Union. Nearby are key submarine lanes. Beneath are critical raw materials essential for the global economy. And the shortest flight path for ballistic missiles from Russia runs across the High North. This is recognized by all. But let me be clear where the EU is coming from. We recognize that the High North has been populated for thousands of years by the indigenous peoples of these lands, the Sami in Norway, Sweden and Finland, and the Inuit people of Greenland and beyond. We also believe in territorial integrity and internationally agreed borders. And we say clearly, Greenland belongs to its people. Tensions are lower than they were a few weeks ago, when Foreign Minister Vivian and I met in Brussels, together with the Danish Defence Minister Troels Lund Poulsen. But there is little clarity about what comes next, or when the next dispute may arise. So I will reiterate what I said then. The European Union stands with Greenland, we stand with our member state Denmark, and we stand by UN Charter. The future of Greenland is for the Greenlanders and Denmark to decide. Dear friends, all of this, the security challenges, the geopolitical shifts, the rapidly changing global order, leads me to my third observation. It is time for a fresh EU Arctic policy, one that reflects the times we live in and the world we want to see, including a secure Arctic. For the European Union, it is essential to ground these in strong partnerships. In the Arctic, this means close cooperation with Norway, Canada and Iceland, with whom we already enjoy close ties and have, or will soon have, in the case of Iceland, a security and defense partnership. NATO remains the cornerstone of security in Europe. But let's not forget that NATO and the EU have 23 members in common, and that today European Union is heavily engaged in defense itself. Our 3 member states, who are Arctic countries, bear a special responsibility for driving our Arctic policy. In the same way, those EU member states who are also NATO allies have a critical role in ensuring that the EU security concerns are in line with those outlined by NATO, including in the Arctic. You know as well as I do that the Arctic security is not defined through the military lens alone. It is also about resilient societies, about people building lives in an unpredictable environment, and about sustainable life. A safe, secure, livable and prosperous Arctic is a global common good. It's up to us to make it happen. And that is what the EU will work for, together with and in support of the Arctic nations. They can count on us, you can count on us. Thank you.
Thank you, High Representative Kallas. As you say, it is time for a fresh EU Arctic policy. What does it look like from Stockholm's point of view? It is my pleasure to invite Christian Danielsson, State Secretary responsible for EU and Nordic affairs, to tell us more.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Governor General, Foreign Ministers, High Representative Vice President, Excellencies, it's a great pleasure to be here. And as Foreign Minister Barth mentioned, it's immensely timely. We are in a situation